Sometimes complaining is therapy. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie and I thought about doing an anti-haul video today, but I thought I want to expand a little bit because I have some, not things I don't want to buy, but concepts that I'm not buying into. So instead of an anti-haul, I think we're gonna call this just pet peeves as an environmentalist, because there are products on this list today, but more so it's just things that we do and like patterns of thinking. If you have been on your own environmentalist sustainability journey, you will have that moment where you start to look at things or interpret things that you have seen a million times suddenly in a different way. Suddenly you see something that you didn't see before. And some of these things I'm gonna talk about today. Let me know down below if you agree. If you don't agree, let me know if you've ever thought about this, or let me know if you have any other pet peeves as a sustainability advocate, environmentalist, something that just thoroughly bugs you. Let me know, let's rant and complain together. Sometimes complaining is therapy. You always ask me what I do to sort of keep eco-anxiety at bay. This. First thing, I recently talked to a friend about it and she looked at me like I was crazy. Like I have never thought about this before in my life. Well, I have thought about this quite a lot. So, you know, if you're driving on a road, it can be both a highway as well as, you know, a normal road outside the city. Sometimes inside, anyway. So what you will typically see is that on each side of the road, there will be patches of grass there. If you combine the area of all the grass next to roads, you have quite a substantial amount of land there. Now, some people are paid to keep that neat and tidy, to cut down any wildflowers or plants that might grow. I guess to some extent because of traffic safety, because you can't have like an ivory just growing out into the street. I get that. But there's also definitely an aspect of neatness and tidiness here. There is an aspect of us wanting it to look nice. And then the people in charge are people from the lawn generation that think that nature has to be tamed and cut down. So if you combine all these areas of grass and you plant wildflowers in them, obviously nothing growing out on the road, but just bear with me here. If you use these spaces for biodiversity projects, imagine the difference that would make. But no, we favor neat, tidy looking roads over a healthy ecosystem. Healthy, quote unquote, because it's still next to a road, but you catch my drift. It is the most silly use of unused space ever. I am reminded so often how much I hate this. I don't know. Have you ever thought about that? Let me know if I'm just the crazy one. This is something that bugs me so much. Another thing, and I know this is basically a shared experience among many people, not only environmentalists, but anyone who throws a cigarette butt, I hope that your cereal is forever soggy. It is one of those kinds of trash that some people don't regard as trash, which means that if you throw it, you don't actually litter. Well, you do. What kind of smoker's math is that? So if I see someone throw a cigarette butt, I will be snarky as fuck about it. I'm sorry. I will be a Karen about it. I will be a Karen for the planet any day of the week. I will go, I think you dropped something. Sometimes I will even go out, pick it up and put it in the bin whilst keeping intense eye contact. I don't give a fuck. So throwing cigarette butts is so vastly unsexy, needlessly unnecessary. And just like, why choose to be a dick? I don't understand. I think that is mainly my, like, why 1 second ahead? Like 1 step ahead, like what happens to that cigarette butt? Where does that end up? Well, both in terms of littering is just like really fucking stupid and unsexy. Children pick those up, dogs pick them up, and they can get sick and they can die. It also goes for nicotine patches, any kind of nicotine related product. It comes in a little pouch. Don't be fooled. It looks like fabric. It is polyester. Hey, that was my video is sponsored sound. I haven't made that in ages. Anyway, this video is not sponsored by other collaborators than my internal rage. Now, a more recent thing. This isn't a big thing in Denmark, so this is mainly frustration that comes from being on the internet, but very intricate, themed, occasional specific popcorn buckets. I don't understand. I might be able to kind of see how this is cool if you're a kid. Full-ass grown-ups buying plastic popcorn buckets. So if you're not up to speed, which I get because I wasn't, so many movies, when they come out, especially big franchises and like big bucks Hollywood movies, they have designed a plastic popcorn bucket that fits with the movie. So you can buy the themed popcorn bucket to go with the movie experience. These are entirely made of plastic. Sometimes there's even metal and mechanisms and sound effects, voice effects, all that kind of stuff in them. Intricate products that are designed to be used for very specific occasional scenarios. Are they designed to be reused? No, that probably some people would say designed to be collector's items. I see them as utterly unnecessary, and I will bet that the vast majority of consumers that buy these popcorn buckets end up using them a few times at home, maybe if we're lucky, and then they get forgotten, they break, they end up in landfill. I think any kind of like themed thing, especially when it comes to like the launch of music, movies, etc., we have to be so extremely careful with how we spend our money, because this is just a vast waste of resources, in my opinion. Then you could say like, you're allergic to fun. I don't know, I'm allergic to fun if we base our idea of fun on needless consumption. I am sorry, we can have fun without the popcorn bucket. I don't see how that is not possible. I've seen so many. I've seen them for the new Now You See Me movie. They have been for Wicked. There's been ones for Star Wars. It's like they're for the new movies that come on. I cannot find it in my heart to be supportive, because like they're really big and like wildly intricate, resource intensive product, 100% ending up in landfill. I also have a bone to pick with fashion influencers. What? Really? Yeah, kinda. So now we are approaching Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and if it was only a day, I would have a lot less to say about it. But it's not just a few days, is it? Any kind of excuse massive corporations can find to make us buy something we don't need, they will take that right away. And what I specifically don't like is that content creators that work with these brands or want to promote products, they say shit like, run, don't walk to Target, or run, don't walk to Urban Outfitters. I don't know where people are running or walking to, but this creates a fictional sense of urgency. If there is one thing that corporations that want to sell you things they really love, it is a sense of urgency, because we buy more when we have a feeling of this might be gone in a second, or this is a fleeting moment. So you have to do it now, otherwise it will be impossible or gone forever, right? That kind of mentality is also the same reason why we hear like really upbeat, loud music in many clothing stores. It nudges us to make impulse purchases rather than, really thinking about something. And that whole creating a sense of urgency, as though the new Stanley Cup will be forever gone if you don't get it. And if you don't get it, I mean, is there even a point to life? Could we please stop saying that? Like, could we? And I know then people will say, oh, it's not that deep, but how we talk about consumption, especially going into a world that is becoming more and more unstable, both in terms of climate change, but also in terms of our economic situations. We shouldn't nudge people to consume more than they need. I think it is not only unsustainable and, it is also unethical, in my opinion. Like, it's a shitty thing to do, selling people the idea of happiness. Meanwhile, we damn well know that we're not gonna find that happiness there. And one last thing, I also really want to talk about this. Another bone that I have to pick with the fashion girlies is when we make content about clothing or styling online. I love to see, honestly, I'll start by giving some praise. I love to see how we are talking more and more about re-wearing the things that we already have. I think that it is becoming more and more normalized, in my opinion, from what I can see. Like, people that are not talking about sustainability, they're talking about how they reuse things from last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. It's becoming more normal, which I like to see. However, the way we're phrasing this sometimes is just, again, this is why it's a pet peeve video, because it just bugs me a little bit. So what I so often see, let me paint you a word picture. We're styling an outfit. I'm wearing this pink jumper. I love this. I've had this for 2 years and it still holds up. It's still really good. 2 years is not a long time to own clothing. I'm sorry. And I've heard it said for jackets, boots, jeans. I'm very well aware that when we buy fast fashion, the quality of the clothes is awful. Our clothes is designed to break and fall apart. The business model of the fast fashion industry is to produce disposable clothing. So sometimes it can be an absolute miracle that we can wear some things for multiple seasons. However, it shouldn't be that way. And I know that becomes like really utopic and like, yes, ideally speaking, obviously it just shouldn't be like that. But we are also the reality that we create. So if we start praising brands for making coats that hold up for 2 years, that becomes the bar. That is the standard then. That becomes, oh, then you're doing something good. That is not a long time to own a jacket. That is not a long time to own a pair of boots. Like, let me know if I'm the crazy one here. But every time I hear it, it sort of hits my ear wrong. Just, I've had this for 2 years and I still really like it. It still really holds up. What do you mean? You've had it for 2 years and it still holds up? I really hope it holds up, because that's not a long time to own something. In my humble opinion. I haven't been very humble in this video, I know for a fact, but just it hits my ear wrong. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, these are pet peeves that I experience, I have to deal with heroically every single day of my life. Let me know if you have any pet peeves like this. Let me know them down below and let's share with the group. Try and come in here and vent and complain. That is what this sort of video is here for. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.